Eleke, my wonderful people. Queenmay Edochie case manager just come outside, come drop some kind of bonge gist wey consign Queenmay Edochie, Yul Edochie, Juju Ekwensu and all. Queenmay Edochie case manager really deliberate in this matter that concerns those persons that are backbossing Queenmay. He did not only stop there, he also went to the areas of May nations and those that are claiming that they support Queenmay Edochie. He said a lot of things that I want you guys to listen to. Not be small matter. I want you guys to pay attention to what he said, okay? And there is something that he said that really baffles me. He said he knows persons that are supporting Queenmay Edochie genuinely, and he also knows those who has gotten direct contact of you Edochie. He said he knows all of them, okay? And he also said something that made me laugh. He said that so many persons that are supporting Jujuaustin that they are hungry. He said they are hungry. I don't know why he said that, but I would like you guys to listen to what he said. Omo, this thing, it don't dey clear. It don't dey clear like this. Now we go begin to know the truth as to what is really going on. Because I remember when he said that they have gotten all what they wanted, which means, I mean, at the time they arrested that particular guy, he said that they've gotten all they wanted to nail the guy. And before we know it, he came up again and he directed his message to you and Jujuaustin, saying that they are the one that is sponsoring those persons that are backbossing Queenmay Edochie on the media. Ever since then, he hasn't been saying that. But when they got hold of that particular guy, May's case manager came up and said that now they know who the persons are. I mean, those that are backing them up are, you know, and they say, and he said that they have proof, you know, that they've gotten what they wanted. In other words, which means that he has gotten the proof to show that Yul and Jujuaustin might be the ones that are encouraging these people to go after me, Edochie. So I want you guys to pay attention to this particular video that you're about to watch. Now watch it. Listen to what he has to say.
We believe that Mr. Yul Edochie took his case to the media, to the social media. And naturally, given the chain of events, his story became a wildfire. The issues involved in his case touched so many people, and people were eager to comment on it, either in response to his own commentaries. But before you knew it, it became the talk of everybody. But one thing has been very clear from the beginning till today. Miss Yul Edochie has intelligently avoided making media statements. If you look anywhere, you would hardly find where Queenmay was discussing her marriage. I recall that it was her concern from the very beginning, and she made effort to request Yul Edochie to keep their matter out of the media spotlight. She had shunned the media, but unfortunately things developed in the manner they developed, fueled by Mr. Yul Edochie's eagerness to explain himself, to seek validation, to somehow rationalize his conduct. This became a media circus. People talk about it, but they're not just talking about it. Their case has become something that many people decided to use as material to grow their social media pages, with the notion that people could monetize their accounts and make money by engagement on their pages. A lot of people decided to spread all manner of stories and falsehood in connection with this case. It is really unfortunate, because I do not think that this could have been the intention of Mr. Yul Edochie when he went to the social media. I believe that he wanted to explain himself. He wanted to rationalize and to minimize the public outrage caused by his conduct, his relationship with Jujuaustin. He felt a need to explain it. At the same time, his explanation was offending the sensibilities of many people in society, especially the women population, especially people who are generally opposed either to polygamy or to the manner in which you conducted his affair. So what has happened now is, as many people rush to exploit this story, to use it to stay active or build up their social media pages, everybody's talking about it, and lies are being peddled. For us in DPA, we were deeply concerned. We knew that these stories being told were not true. We knew that these stories being told were hurtful to the people involved, particularly to May and her children. I say particularly to May because she is the one that did not want the media attention. She just wanted to grow her businesses, her endorsement projects, her activities, but hardly ever did May speak about her marriage in public. In fact, if ever she spoke in the public, she spoke about the loss of her son, not about the marriage, because she understood that the marriage issue had been presented before the court, and it's up to the court to make a determination. In the ensuing controversies and the tendency to exploit this story, many people have resorted to extreme conduct. By extreme conduct, I'm talking about the disinformation and defamation and bullying that is going on. A lot of people actually don't have conscience. When I mean don't have conscience, I mean that they've lost the capacity to ask the basic question. Who is right? Who is wrong? Who started this? Who is a victim of this controversy? And they have singled out May and her children or child-grown daughter, a teenage daughter, for all manner of exploitation. You bully them, you create accounts and claim it's their accounts and use it. So, but one thing you must understand, and this is what makes a difference between May and the other side. May did not have an intention to use the social media to advance her cause. That is, to advance her side of the controversy on the marriage question. She had never tried that. On the other hand, it is you and Judy that felt the need to explain themselves. They felt the need to justify their actions. And in the process, they had to create scenarios that never happened. Starting with the case of Sarah Martins. Somebody paid Sarah Martins to go to Daddy Freeze and lie. And we remember precisely the lies they told. They claimed that May was dating some married man in the United Kingdom, which was absolute fallacy. But why did you think they wanted to paint that picture, that she was dating a married man? They didn't even just say she was dating somebody. They said dating a married man. It was because somebody wanted to make it look good to date a married man. Who do you think wanted to justify, to normalize the dating of a married man? Somebody wanted to normalize adultery. They fabricated that story. They painted the picture that she was not a good wife. They painted the picture that you must have justification for his conduct. All these things ought not have been necessary. They were not necessary. What happened had happened. You had an affair with someone which was pure adultery. You were caught in it. Shut up. Keep quiet. In 2-3 weeks' time, it will fizzle out. Even the case of Balthazar, the Equatorial Guinea man, you knew how popular that story was? 3 months ago, it was everywhere. Today, you hardly hear that story. Nobody of you remember about us anymore. If you, Edochie, had kept quiet, today, nobody will remember what happened 2 years ago. But he has this incredible, insatiable desire to justify himself. In doing so, he has lied. And these lies have been hurtful, and these lies have encouraged people to repeat them. It had to be lies. On the other hand, May, who could have been telling stories, kept quiet. And May's stories would have been very straightforward. She was betrayed by her husband with another woman. It got to the point of having a child out of wedlock. It got to the point of the open humiliation of announcing a polygamy and being proud about polygamy, when in fact you are married under the statute. So if you come out and call you an adulterer, you're not lying. It's a fact. But we shouldn't do so. Nobody should call him anything. Leave him alone. If you ask us what is in our position, if you ask us what we consider the best thing, what we consider the best thing is for people to stay away from these people. Leave them alone. Don't talk about you. Don't talk about me. That would have been an ideal. However, if people start talking, they must at least say the truth. All these allegations against me are false. Completely false. There are stories out of hell. No basis to justify them. Her desire or her entry into the movie industry is a legitimate pursuit of business and interest and career. What is wrong if she goes into the movie industry? And she has been doing it consistently with the rules of the industry. All this fabrication of relationships between her and the AY and all these things are baseless. This is how the movie industry works. Producers of a movie will use a popular actor to market the movie. They'll have clips and events and shows to market the movie. The whole goal is to get public attention to the movie, so they will go and pay and view the movie. It's strictly a business decision conducted strictly in accordance with the rules of the industry. So the stories people are fabricating have no meaning, and these people have no conscience. I say you have no conscience because you have invented an absolutely non-existent scenario and you peddle it against another human being, against a woman who has suffered so much. Now, let me say something about people, some of whom, people you call May Nation. It's very important to speak about May Nation. First and foremost, you must know that right from the beginning of the controversy between you and Judy, people perceived, controversy between you and May. People naturally perceived May to be the underdog. She was the victim. She was the one cheated. She was the one lied to. Naturally, people who support her, people came en masse to support this woman who has done nothing. Those people are volunteers. They came on their own. May has never paid anybody to speak for her on social media. May has never encouraged anybody to speak for her on social media. So when you hear May Nation, you are talking about individuals who, based on their own assessment of the situation and based on their own assessment of what is fair, decided to speak against the conduct of you and Judy. You cannot blame May for that. So all this idea that May Nation is May, that has no meaning at all. May has no control over May Nation, and there is no organization or an entity known as May Nation. In other words, there is no legal entity called May Nation. May Nation is what people call themselves based on their feelings. Just as the obedience were people who naturally supported P2B. There's no party called Obedient Party. There's no organization called Obedient Organization. But people who identified with P2B's political aspiration were generally described as obedient people, obedient movement. Obi doesn't control them. They have no office. You will never go anywhere and find an office called Obedient Office. Likewise, May Nation were people who came on their own. And in our involvement in this case, we had carefully advised May to understand that she is not responsible for any group. If you support her, she's grateful for your support. But she doesn't control you. She doesn't tell you what to do. And because she doesn't tell you what to do, she cannot tell you what not to do. Because there has been this question of, oh, she should go and talk to her followers. May Nation. It's not possible. I wouldn't even allow her to do so. Because once she begins to tell them what not to do, she becomes responsible for them. Then somebody can say, well, you told them, but you did not tell them loudly enough. Or you did not tell them frequently enough. So she is not responsible for anybody's activity. And I can tell you, without any doubts, that if your defense for attacking May or defaming May is because somebody defamed somebody else, it is not a defense in law. It's not possible. No court in this world will allow you to say that you defamed a person because somebody else defamed somebody else. So there is, what is going on now is something terrible. And I will also tell you something. It is so easy for anybody to claim to be May Nation. An enemy of May can claim to be May Nation because they don't have an office, they don't have registration, you don't have a way of knowing who is May Nation or who is not a May Nation. We saw a man, a young man, who initially, when this controversy started, he began to attack May. Because for him, he's a polygamist. He believed in polygamy. He was writing everywhere polygamy. But each time he did so, he was criticized by people who were sympathetic with May. So he wasn't getting popular enough. Supporting you against May was not profitable for him. That young man one day rose up and changed and began to criticize May, Yul and Judy. He just switched side. So he became May Nation. Immediately he called himself May Nation. But for us, we don't look at what you call yourself, we look at your activities. We look at the activities of these people. So you got to understand, don't make that mistake, because we can see a high level of ignorance among those who are involved in these controversies. I have heard them argue that May Nation are bullying you, therefore let us bully May. That is the fundamental miscalculation anybody could make. It's not even logical to you, really. So, don't try to hold May responsible for May Nation. First and foremost, we don't know who the May Nation are. We can only see individuals when they act. If a person does the right thing and says he's supporting May, yeah, we take note of that. That's the right thing. He's indeed supporting May. But merely calling yourself May Nation doesn't tell us whether you support us or not.